Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Tayo Salam. This is what the show looks like. Starting off with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, 16 players are in camp in Lagos ahead of Thursday's World Cup qualifier against the Central African Republic. We've got all of the updates coming from the Super Eagles camp for you in the course of the program. Also in sport this morning, Udoka, that's the former D-Tigers forward, has made a winning start to his tenure as a coach of the Boston Celtics with a very narrow victory over the Orlando Magic in their first preseason game of the season. Also on sport this morning, the journey to the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics begins today for Nigerian curlers in Turkey. All right, that's join us and try and stick with us for these and more on the show. But we're going to start with Nigeria's journey or campaign to the Olympics. That's the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics for next year. I've got the president of the Nigeria Curling Federation with me, Damola Daniels, and he's going to be telling us everything we need to know about this new sport, in quotes, as they attempt to qualify for the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics. Damola Daniels, good morning. It's great to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure to be here with you guys on Channels TV in the beautiful city here in Lagos, right?
Yes.
Nigeria.
Indeed. We've had you on the show several times, but that's been virtually, Skype, then Zoom. So it's great to have you, physically present in our studios right here in Lagos.
Thank you, Tayo. I'm most delighted to be here.
I know. It's exciting times for curling, definitely in the country. That's because the qualifiers is going to start today, as a matter of fact. Before I get into all of the nitty-gritty concerning Nigerian curlers and the attempts to qualify for the Winter Olympics, let us give you what the draw looks like for the country in Turkey, who they're going to be playing and when they're going to be playing, and all of that. Starting with the mixed doubles. Yeah, Nigeria's going to be action in the mixed doubles. In Group A is Belarus. There's also Latvia, Lithuania, Portugal, and Slovakia. In Group B, there's Brazil, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, Slovenia, and Turkey. While Group C has Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Mexico, and Chinese Taipei. That's for the mixed doubles. In the men's singles, Nigeria will also be attempting to qualify for the Winter Olympics. They are in Group B as well. But in Group A, there's Brazil, Kazakhstan, Chinese Taipei, and Turkey. While in Group B is Nigeria, the Czech Republic, Finland, Hungary, Nigeria, and Slovenia. Group C has got Belgium, Spain, Estonia, Latvia, Romania, and Slovakia. So that's what it's looking like for Nigerian colors as they try to qualify for the Winter Olympics that's going to hold next year in Beijing. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how they navigate this particular scenario, because a lot of the countries that are featuring are very good sides when it comes to curling. We're seeing pictures are coming from the home-based curlers as well today, not being left out. And that's why Damola Daniels is in the studio, is going to be telling us all their plans to continue to develop this sport, especially at the grassroots. But before we get to the grassroots, Damola, today, D-Day for Nigeria as they attempt to qualify for the Winter Olympics. What do you have to tell us about that? Their chances, how they're doing, preparations-wise, and all.
Well, kudos to my team mixed double for Nigeria. TJ Cole and Suzy Cole will be, flying the flags of the country today, 7 p.m. precisely. They're already in Erzurum, Turkey.
Right.
They had their practice section yesterday, and they are doing well. What we needed to do was, make do with what we have and then see what we can make out of it. But one thing is sure, we're going to qualify the country for 2022 Olympics. And they've been training hard. They're in Denver, Colorado. And also we've been watching footage of others, to make it possible for us to get into the game and then, exhibit our game plan. I think the team is in high spirit. I spoke with them this morning,
Right.
yesterday, at all time. Though I'm not there with them today, I'm here in the country trying to see the home base, trying to, put them through on what to do on the floor coiling. But
Yeah.
also, as well, I'm going to be with the team in Kazakhstan. But for now, I just need to focus on the home front and what we are doing here currently, soliciting for where's and how we can get funds, to support this team, because we have almost three events to go. And also we have about 3 countries to visit.
Right.
Now, Turkey, thereafter in November, Kazakhstan. After that, also in Scotland as well. So we have the mixed 2, we have the male team, then the female team comprises of the home base. So now, in this particular championship in Israel, Turkey, we have the mixed doubles and the male team who's going to be playing. And that's going to cost us a lot. And basically, everybody knows that our coaches are European as well and Canadians as well. So that's going to,
and
engulf a lot.
Doing it for free. Right?
Not for free. You got to pay their tickets. You got to pay their accommodation, feeding allowances, and so on. So that costs us money.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, money is a problem when it comes to sports generally in the country. We'll get to that much later on. But before then, still talking about the Turkey pre-Olympic qualification event. Nigeria's chances, what are they playing first today?
Our first game is against, I think...
Is it Brazil, Kazakhstan?
Yeah, Brazil also.
Okay.
Today, 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
Okay.
Then after that, we have the next day and the following day as well.
And so it's still the same old, in quote, tried and trusted partnership of TJ and Susanna Cole,
The
right?
Dynamo. I call them the Dynamo pairs.
That's what they go by now.
Because, one beautiful thing about our sport is when we started the sport, it was myself, the Secretary General, being my wife. So, the only person you can trust most to, get it done for you is your partner. And that's what is working out for them.
I see. I like that comparison. Makes sense. So we wish TJ and Susanna Cole all the best as they begin their campaign to qualify for the Beijing Winter Olympics in Beijing next year. So we wish them all the best. So let's carry on with the conversation now. It's very important. TJ and Susanna Cole obviously are based out of the country, so things are a bit more easier for them to get done. But what about the guys in Nigeria? I know you've said over and over again that you will not neglect the Nigerian curlers, and that's the main reason why you're even in the country. We've seen pictures are coming from the floor, curling, that you're trying to improvise, so just to make sure these guys are in tune with the way the sport is played before they eventually get on ice. Tell us more about that. Of course, I know you mentioned the funding issues already.
Some time ago in your show via Skype, I said, and I quote, you were the presenter and Austin Okonakpan.
Right.
I said, I want this sport to rival football in the country. I mean it with every inch, every sweat in me. Now, for this sport to grow, we can't but focus more on the home front. That is the major reason why we brought the sport to the country.
Right.
Now we have players in the diaspora, a lot of them. But for the sport to grow in this country, we just have to focus more on the home front. So that's why you see us, we are putting everything we can to make sure that we develop the home front. And basically, we are taking the home front coilers for the Kazakhstan pre-qualification game. Bulk of them are the female team, and at least 2 male.
Okay, I see. So because I noticed for the pre-Olympics qualification in Turkey, there's no female team for that one. So you're deciding to take the home-based curlers for the Kazakhstan event. That's what you're saying?
Right, right.
That's awesome.
The reason is that, like I promised that, look, we're going to be making sure that the home fronts are represented. Now we are improvising for them as of now, trying to use what we have, the floor coiling, to make do of the techniques we can, impute in them. So when they get out to the main ice there, they have about maybe 3 days ice time.
Yeah,
what we wanted to do was to, send them out for training tour. But because of the funding, we had to, improvise to make sure that the fundings that were supposed to be used for the training tour, we now use it for the championship because we don't have fundings. All the fundings they've been seeing, it has been from me my other executives as well, and my, yours truly, my partner, which everybody knows, the Secretary General of the Federation. So we have been the one funding the Federation to this level. So that's why we had to, make do with what we have in order for them to, to get to the ice and then see what can come out of it. But we believe that the impossible takes a little longer.
Indeed, you just got to keep pushing. And in terms of support, obviously, you said it all. Everything is being done by you and your team to get to the level that you are now. What about support from the ministry, from the NOC? Because by extension, you're going to be representing not only your federation, the country as well. So if you make it to the Olympics, that's going to be historic. We saw it at the last Winter Olympics when the bobsled skeleton team made it, and the whole country celebrated like they were part of the journey.
Is it. But good enough, I'm a straight shooter, I'm a straight talker.
Right.
I'll say straight. No support from the ministry.
None.
NOC, none. Now,
Why is that? Have you been in touch with them?
I have a letter delivered to the office of the minister. I have a copy from my staff. You understand? The truth be told, we all bleed red worldwide. This is a green and white color of the country. We are flying there. Not Mr. Damola, Daniel, nor the SecGen or the technical crew or the
not the federation.
Director. This is the country. The national anthem says, some stanza says, Nigeria score. And we obeyed. And what is the country now doing in response to that as well? Should we now qualify tomorrow? They will now come and be, playing their drums on our feet or what? This is the issue concerning the country, not an individual. They should also say, oh, what do you guys need from our own end so that we can know what to do for you guys? Now, diplomatically, we will need their, the support. The almighty federal government has got everything it takes to do everything. But now we are going out there on our own. Should anything happen to any of the players, what will happen? Diplomatically, otherwise, they know that we exist. They know that we are, portraying the image of the country positively. And above all, this is a country without no ice. We are ranked far ahead of other European countries. Yet, we are here now, soliciting for funds, help from them, from everywhere. We ain't getting nothing.
Wow.
This is not fair for the country.
Hopefully, the authorities are listening and will do right eventually before it's all said and done for the Nigerian curlers as they once again attempt to qualify for the Winter Olympics, which is going to be historic because for a Nigerian country, for an African country to qualify for the curling.
We are the only one.
Events of an Olympics. Yeah. There you go. It'll be a major milestone in history for the country. So, like I said, hopefully the authorities are listening and will do the right thing before it's too late. You want to say something before we carry on? Yeah,
Tayo, let me also give them a shocker here. But because of our efforts, collectively from Nigerian Curling Federation, Africa has been given a slot in the next Youth Winter Olympics.
All right.
Who's going to fly the flags of Africa? Basically, Nigeria. And we've started our programming for that now because we signed an invitational program with Canada.
Right.
Which is going to commence from 2022 to 2025. Now, we've started already. See, look, sports has everything it takes to develop a country.
Absolutely.
But what are we doing in the country to make this happen? We shouldn't be looking at the king of sports, which is football or basketball. We have just 2 ice sport federations in the country, bobsled and skeleton and coiling. Now we should also encourage, because there are still many more to come. So if we must win medals at every Olympics, we should diversify
Damola,
from football.
I totally agree. You got to diversify. There's no doubt about it. We're seeing other sectors as well too. But in case you're not aware, a lot of these other sports and federations are facing similar challenges as well too.
It's a simple solution.
Yeah, in terms
just
of
give them autonomy. Then you, the sport administrator, there make the policies. That's how it works outside the country. Then they can be able to make something happen. You understand?
Totally
diversify. Okay, look at our sports, for example. We've been running for 2017. Yet we've been making a mark for the country. No sponsors, no nothing. But yet we're still growing. And we're still expanding. Now, 2024, the Youth Olympics, we're going to be there. But we've started making preparation. So this is how it works in the Western world. They are doing their bit on terms of, but they should bring in the technocrats that knows how to, make this happen for sports.
Indeed. Damola, I know you have a lot to say. And yeah, still talking about the youth program. You're going to go for the Youth Olympics, right? That's going to be in 2024. That's fantastic. And secondly, I hear there's going to be an African curling championship as well too in December. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that African Floor Curling Championship is our own initiative. I think the world body has sanctioned it as well.
Okay.
Because when we started in 2017, recognized in 2018, we were charged with the responsibility of spreading the sport across Africa. So myself and the Secretary General are spearheading that. Then we proposed this idea to them. They welcomed it. The equipment, as we speak, has been imported to the country,
awesome.
cleared by us as well. But we're trying to put some few final touches into what is going to happen.
Okay.
We have about 5 countries coming in. We have Gambia, Senegal, South Africa, Kenya, the latest one to join the WCF, and we, the host country, Nigeria. Because we already helped Kenya to come into the fold of WCF, that's World Curling Federation, as a member nation. But they are not playing nation yet because we have to go back there now and train them as well, introduce the sport, the technical knowledge and everything to them. Then the world body will come in as well to help as well. So it has been fantastic for us on the floor curling. I think we're going to have it if everything goes well, because all letters is going to still go through Olympic Committee and the Ministry of Sport, just for the record, so that they won't say we didn't do the needful.
All right, that's very important, and I'm glad that you are going down that route. You've talked about all of the challenges, funding, major problem, facility as well too is major, is a nice sport. And there was a time when you talked about developing your own facility somewhere in Calabar, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's the latest with that one?
I just got back from Calabar about 2 days ago. I was in Cross River State to see what is going on there. But let's talk about the facility now. From day one, we wrote a letter to the Ministry of Sport requesting for land. They turned us down. Now, this facility is not meant for us, for crying out loud. It's for the citizenry. The facility is going to be used by other kind of ice sport. We are trying to, we want to make Nigeria the capital of ice sport. If they allow us no enabling environment for that. Now they turn us down. What do we need to do? We have to go and buy a property somewhere far off
Lagos.
In Cross River.
So you wanted to do the Lagos first, right?
Yes. We applied for a land behind the National Stadium, which we know they have a facility, a landmass there. They said because we are not under the Ministry of Sport. This is not about who is who. It's about developmental program. We don't own the land. We own the facility in terms of using it to train people. The land belongs to the government, which is directly Ministry of Sports. So that alone is we also developing sport structurally wise. Now look at it. We're going to have 2 sides of the rings. One for dedicated curling. The other one is going to be used by other ice sport. And that alone is the first of its kind in the entire African region, which is going to create more tourism, more exchange for the country. So I see no reason why they shouldn't do that. But going further, we've started doing our thing. We cleared our land, fencing it, doing everything we can, raising funds the best way we can. The architectural designs are on ground, everything. So we're still pushing for the facility to be developed. So
I just want to take you back to the reason that was given that you're not under the Ministry of Sports. What does that mean?
We applied in quotes. We have it on record. Because what they believe is,
you're not under the Ministry of Sports.
Once you're not a recognized federation under the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport.
Why are you not?
We applied, we are waiting for them, so I could show you
you got the documentation.
Everything submitted to them, everything submitted to them, and also acknowledged since, I think, 2019 or thereabouts. Wow. So we don't know what is up, but the truth be told,
just to wrap up now,
we are doing the right thing, so we don't flinch.
Interesting, Damola. I know we can go on and on and on because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the sports of curling and its development in the country. But we're going to have to leave that conversation for some other time. I know you'll be back in the country soon again, and we'll take it from where we're leaving it. So I want to thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best, the team all the best today as they begin their campaign to qualify for the Beijing 2022 Winter
Like
Olympics.
we said, the impossible takes a little longer. So everybody there, support Nigerian Curling Federation. We look forward to making the country proud, and definitely we shall deliver to the country. Thank you all, and we love the country. That's why we are here to serve. The country calls, and we are obeying.
Indeed. Thank you very much for your time again. But we got to let you go now. See you soon. We need to go on a break. Guys, just stick with us. When we come back, Inelbong Monday will be joining us for the rest of the stories across the amazing world of sports. Join us again. Welcome back to Channel Sports this morning. Inelbong Monday is in the studio now. We're going to be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and their preparations for the World Cup qualifier against the Central African Republic. Ini, good morning. It's great to have you again.
Yeah, good morning, Taya. Very good to be here. And barnstorming session you had.
Indeed.
It was very interesting. And I totally agree with his sentiments. I've always thought that there's an over-concentration on football around here. And we need to diversify, because when we go to the Olympics, for instance, we went to the Olympics the last time, and our football teams were not there.
They didn't qualify.
And they didn't qualify. And it always looks like without football, we can't win. We win medals at global meets like that. And I totally agree with him. We need to diversify in a very, very good way in terms of getting to explore other sports, because in the last Olympics, I saw what Egypt, the Tunisians, the South Africans are always doing, and they're getting medals in swimming. Medals in lots of sports that we don't give that kind of concentration. So curling, it might look unpopular around here, but I think it's an area we can explore.
Why not?
Anything to get medals at the Olympics, anything to get medals at global meets. So I totally agree with his sentiments, and I hope that the powers that be, the people who run our sports, will take this more seriously than they're doing at the moment.
That's the hope, and that's what we all hope for curling and every other lesser sport out there in quote, because we've seen that come major competitions like the Olympics or the World Championships, these countries win the same medal as football. It doesn't really matter. The medal is not different from what they give footballers.
Exactly, exactly.
So let's leave it at that for now. Let's go straight to the camp of the Super Eagles, and let's tell you all of the players that are in camp. Before we came in the studio, last time we checked, it was 16 players in camp, led by Chidera Ejuke. There's also Daniel Akpeyi, Paul Anuachu, Samuel Kalu, Kevin Apoguma, Jamilu Collins, Innocent Bonke, Chidozie Awazim, Taiwo Awoni is in camp, fantastic. William Troost Ekong, Frank Oyeka, Leon Balogun, Joseph Aribo, Calvin Bassey, that's the Rangers young star, that's the defender Olaina, and Ahmed Musa, the captain, and still being expected later today, Victor Osimhen, Maduka Okoye, Kelechi Iheanacho, Kenneth Omeru, Moses Simon, Francis Uzor, and Shehu Abdullahi.
Yeah, very, very excited about Calvin Bassey. Seen him with the Rangers team in Scotland this season. He looks a very good footballer. He looks a decent guy on the left-hand side. And the good thing is we're having lots of options, and that is very exciting. It's a good headache for the manager when you have Jamilu Collins on the side. You've got Zaidu, the Porto left back. He wasn't even invited. And you've got someone like Calvin Bassey. I think that's really impressive. Very exciting to have him. And of course, I was watching the show yesterday. You guys were talking about the new addition, the guy scoring goals in
Taiwo
Awoni is scoring goals in Germany. I'm very pleased for him, because showed a lot of promise in the age grade competition, and wasn't quite settled at a particular club. Went to Liverpool, didn't quite, obviously no one expected him to break through the Liverpool team. But he's building really, really good blocks, and I'm quite happy for him. Now he's settled at the club, he's banging goals week in, week out. He's got the trust of his club manager, he's playing week in, week out. And how about you give him a chance in the national team? And I hope Gunnar Roy is not watching, but usually Gunnar Roy invites players and gives them 5 minutes at the end of the game. And I hope he doesn't do that because Central African Republic is not a country that should give us sleepless nights. Respectfully.
Yeah.
And I would expect that you put a player in there, you've invited him, give him their chance from the start, at least give him a good 45 minutes, because that's what a player needs. A player doesn't, I mean, when you call a player to the national team, a national team setup, it's not quite the same as club football. And if you give a player 20 minutes, 15 minutes for a striker, because a striking position needs a lot of confidence. And once you trust the player from the start, or maybe at the start of the second half, you give him a lot of belief, a lot of confidence to go out there and do his thing. And I hope he gets enough opportunity on Thursday against Central African Republic, because I like him. I like him. He's very aggressive.
Yeah.
He likes to play on the shoulder. Likes to make life difficult for defenders. And I hope he plays. I will really be happy if he plays. And another player I'm quite excited about is Frank Onyeka. My word. I know we talked about him before the start of the Premier League season.
Yeah.
What he was going to do in the Premier League, coming from the Danish league, was a step higher than what he used to play in. My word, he's played like he's been playing in the Premier League for 5 years. He looks an absolute fit for the Premier League. Physically, he's up to scratch, and mentally, you know, you see him in games and he looks a real cracker of a footballer. And I hope that he can translate. I know it's a cliche, but I hope he can translate that sort of form into the national team.
Indeed. Now that you've mentioned the midfielder, for a lot of people, a lot of watchers, analysts, and fans alike, Nigeria is light in that midfield, section, departments, and they can't just understand why there's about 9 defenders on the team, and you have just a handful of midfielders, a handful of forwards as well. Iwobi dropped out and was replaced by a striker, Terry Murphy. Terry injured, replaced by another striker. So what do you make of that midfield situation for the country going into this game against CAL? Of course, it's CAL, so you'd expect Nigeria to get the job done somehow, even with a very light midfield. But if you're looking at the overall picture, the final round of qualifiers, where you're going to be taking on the big guns on strictly home and away basis, anyone can get anyone. You've got to be very good in that situation.
Yeah, you've got to be very good. And clearly, we have a lot of midfield players. We have good midfield players out there. For some reasons, we seem to have more defenders than we have midfield players. And but I will never understand the rationale behind inviting 9 defenders in two qualifiers. And in the end, only 4 or 5 of them get to play in the 2 games, incredibly. And I will never understand that. I see no reason behind it. It just doesn't make any sense, because in any case, football matches, you know, another cliche, football matches are won in the midfield, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cliche, but it's the truth.
It is real.
That football matches are won in the midfield. And if you're losing midfield battles, I mean, I'm not saying against Central African Republic. No. I mean, because we've got quality that is a step above Central African Republic. We should be able to do a job on them over 2 legs.
Yeah.
But like you said, when it gets to the business end, when it gets to that stage where we need to be serious, momentum is very good. Momentum is very key, because when you build a momentum for a long time in terms of the midfield selections, the method, the tactics you're using, because I'm not a fan of chop and change. I'm not a fan of, you know, you play this one today, you play this one tomorrow. It doesn't help for continuity. It doesn't help for consistency. And going into this game, I'm thinking you've got to try new players. And yeah, clearly people like Frank Onyeka will be hoping that they get a chance. You know, Bonke saw him in the Champions League against Zenit the other night, and I thought he looked decent. And Wilfred Ndidi is not available.
No Wilfred, no Ogenekari
is not available, and sadly those 2 are our mainstays. They are the people who normally will start. So give a chance to Frank Onyeka, give a chance to Innocent Bonke. Let's just see what they bring to the table. Let's see what they bring to the table, and I hope they do enough to impress.
Indeed. We'll see how it pans out. The team is expected, I mean, more players are expected in camp today. The match is on Thursday, so they're barely going to have a couple of days training sessions for this particular matchup. It's far from ideal, but it's what coaches from across the world are having to deal with because of a very tight and congested calendar. We've got tomorrow to do our final preview, or tomorrow and next tomorrow for our final preview of that game against the Central African Republic. So you can stick with us for all of the updates coming from the Super Eagles camp. Indeed, from the Super Eagles, let's go quickly to the Super Falconet. Not Super, yeah, but you get what I'm saying. The Falconets are going to be in action as well to the right here in Lagos training for the second leg of their AFCON qualifier. That's on the 20 against the Central African Republic. First leg ended 7-0. So obviously, second leg should be, I don't want to say a stroll in the park, but you get my point. Massive difference in quality of both sides when it comes to women's football.
Yeah, this is not that sort of game where you say, oh, hope the Falconets are not complacent. Absolute nonsense.
We know what's going to happen.
It's going to be a stroll in the park for them. And the job was done in the first leg, and it's just a consolidation. But also for the manager, for the team, the coach, what you'll be looking at is mentality, because how the players approach this game, having won the first leg 7-0, is very important, because it's very key that you look at the psyche of the players, because sometimes when you win a game 7-0 in the first leg, I mean, it's obviously going to be an easy one in the second leg. There's no way you're going to lose 8-0 in the second leg.
Exactly.
You're expected to go through to the next stage. But the mentality of the players is very key. How they approach the game, with the mindset they go in. Do they approach the game like it's 7-0, or do they approach the game like it's 0-0?
Indeed, your sports on mentality is so important. And it seems that one of the players understands that assignment very well. Let's take a listen to this.
The mentality on our forthcoming game is a very high one, and I feel for the fact that we could do what we did in Cameroon, we should be able to do more here in our home ground, because our fans, we are making our fans, Nigeria as a whole, proud. So we have to double our efforts as a team, individually and collectively. And the ability to get a shirt in the team is a very high one, because to get a shirt in the Nigerian Falconets, it's not an easy thing. So you have to keep up the good work and the hard work and keep praying and put everything in God's hand, and of course God first. We are promising Nigeria to put our very best in the game, as we have always done and we continue to do. We promise to put smiles on every Nigerian faces and to make each of Nigerian proud out there.
That's Deborah Abiodun, Falconets player, sounding very confident ahead of that second leg clash against the Central African Republic. She sounds confident, but then she's not underestimating the side, and she spoke about the mentality having been very important to how they approach this game and all of that. So fantastic. We'll see how it pans out between Nigeria and CAR later today. But before we leave them, let's take a listen to the coach as well, to Christopher Danjuma, his take ahead of the game.
There's no opponent in Africa that is to be disrespected or looked down upon. It was a match played, and our match tactics worked for us, and God gave us 7 goals. We are not coming to approach the match as if it was scored 7 already. We're coming to that match as if it's the match that gets us to qualify. What we're seeing in this one is there are people that are hungry to play because they've not been to any World Cup before. So the hunger and the drive to make name for themselves is what is keeping us going.
Just like the players, the coach, Christopher Danjuma, not underestimating the opposition as well. So I like that fact that they, even though they know deep down that they will smash these girls when they come around. But you've got to send
like
the right message.
Exactly.
And that's what it's doing.
I mean, it's not about, at this stage, it's not about what's going to happen in this second leg. It's about what is going to happen in the next stage of qualifier.
There you go.
It's the mentality you approach games like this. And like I said, I quite appreciate the fact that the captain, Deborah, the coach, Christopher Danjuma, understand the severity of this kind of situation, because you've got to build. I mean, this stage is done already. It's done and dusted. It's about the next stage. And how you go into that next stage is very important. You can strike fear into your opponent by what you do in the stage before, and football is mental. I mean, you've got to go in with the right mentality, and I quite appreciate that they're going in with the right mindset to play this game.
Indeed. All the best to the Falconets against the Central African Republic in that second leg clash. They will definitely get the job done and advance to the next stage of qualifiers. Let's go now to Europe. Over the weekend, on Sunday to be precise, we had our first managerial casualty in the English Premier League. Cisco Munoz was sacked by Watford, and there's a new replacement. It's none other than former Premier League champion Claudio Ranieri is back for the 4th time. He's managed Chelsea, Leicester, Fulham, now Watford. First of all, okay, he signed a 2-year deal, a short-term contract, to be the manager of Watford. We know his antecedents already. What do you make of this move by Watford?
I was very surprised by Cisco Munoz's sacking because, I mean, when I heard the news, the first thing I did, I was brushing through the Premier League table, and I saw Watford had played 7 matches and have 7 points for a newly promoted side. And
not bad.
That's not bad. Let's be honest. But I mean, the owners of Watford,
they've got a reputation.
They've got a massive reputation in terms of hiring and firing managers. And I mean, you can't quite see the template of what they are looking to achieve, or you don't know what contract he signed. I mean, whether he signed a contract that he was going to have 21 points from the first 7 games. I don't know what contract they signed, but it just doesn't make any sense to me that you're sacking a manager 7 games into a season.
Strange.
And it can't work in 2 ways. I mean, you look at on the brighter side, Claudio Ranieri is a very experienced manager. He's been there, done that, understands the working environment in the Premier League and what it means to take a club from the foot of the table and win the Premier League. No one is expecting him to win the Premier League with Watford, but he understands the demands of the job, and he understands that it's a result-oriented business, and if you're not getting results on board, you're going to be out of the door, particularly when you work for owners who are very famed.
Trigger happy.
You know, exactly, that's the word, trigger happy. They are willing to pull the trigger at any time, but it's quite unfortunate for Cisco Munoz. I thought he did a decent job in terms of bringing them from the championship. You know, they've had 2 wins in the Premier League and 1 draw. That's not bad enough, but it's the demands of the job. You know,
it's bad for the Pozzo family. The Pozzo family, they don't play when it comes to their clubs. As a matter of fact, Claudio Ranieri is going to be the 13th different manager since the Pozzo family completed their takeover of the club. That was in 2012. We wish Claudio Ranieri all of the best in his new position. Left Sampdoria after last season in the Italian Serie A. Let's leave Ranieri and quickly talk about this transfer saga that is looking like it's going to come to an end pretty soon. I'm talking about Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe wanted to leave for Real Madrid during the summer. PSG did not sanction that move, so he's had to stay back. Now he's spoken for the very first time about his situation at PSG, and it says, and I quote, "I asked to leave because from the moment I didn't want to extend my contract, I wanted the club to receive a transfer fee to bring in a quality replacement." So he told the club he wanted to leave in July. That's how early he had told them he had no interest in renewing his contract. He goes on to say, "PSG is a club that has given me a lot. I've always been happy during the years I've been here as 4, and I've been here, and I am happy. I said it early enough so that the club could react. I wanted everyone to come out of this stronger, that will leave hand in hand to make a good deal, and I respected that. I said it. If you don't want me to leave, I'll stay," which is what is done now, but reluctantly. Eventually, he will or might get his move. This guy has got 1 year on his contract. He can sign a pre-contract in July. PSG, for whatever reason, did not sanction that deal. I mean, it's very, very strange coming from Leonardo and the PSG hierarchy.
It is a tough character, Kylian Mbappe, for a player so young. He's a very feisty character. I quite like the fact that he's owned up to the fact that he wanted to leave PSG, and he said it very clearly that he wanted to leave. And clearly it's an information that the Paris Saint-Germain hierarchy knew a long time ago.
That's what it said.
That he's always wanted to play for Real Madrid. He wanted to play for a childhood club where he's dreamt about for many, many years. And they knew he wanted to play for only one club, and that's Real Madrid. And he told them expressly, I want to leave this club, and I want you to take a transfer fee. Leonardo was saying during the
closing stages of the
transfer window that Mbappe had told them that he didn't want to leave for free. That he wanted them to take a transfer fee.
Collect the money.
I don't know if I'm the only one who heard.
I heard.
But Real Madrid offered a staggering
160, 180, 200, all before August the 31st.
Staggering 200 million euros plus.
Yeah.
For Kylian Mbappe, and they refused to move him on. That, for me, is a ridiculous business decision. I mean, that money can get you Erling Haaland.
Easily.
It gets you Erling Haaland quite easily.
Yeah.
So maybe people are trying to make Mbappe look like the bad guy. You resisted money. Monday,
I know you can go on and on about this. I'm going to let you conclude your thoughts after we'll come back from this break. Don't go anywhere. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Before we give you updates coming from the NBA preseason games that went over the nights, quickly your final thoughts on Mbappe. Do you think he's going to sign a new deal or is going to join on a free in the summer?
I'll be shocked if he signs a new deal. I'd be absolutely shocked. Clearly, he will appreciate what Paris Saint-Germain has done for his career because it's given him that springboard to achieve great things. World Cup winner. The lad is a superstar. He's a sensation. And at this point, it's PSG's losses, in my opinion.
That's what it looks like.
It is their loss. And they've got to sit back and accept that they made a stupid decision, in my opinion, not to sell Mbappe in the summer because they had money on the table. And if you are not selling him, they're trying to blackmail him into signing a new deal. And I don't like that. I'm of the opinion most of the time that players get very greedy, but this is not greed.
This is not it.
This is not greed. This is about ambition. This is a player who understands that for me to be the best player in the world, I've got to play for a Real Madrid or a Barcelona. And he's had the dream of playing for Real Madrid for as long as we can remember.
True.
Not made that a secret at all.
No.
And Paris Saint-Germain had the chance to take the money. They refused to take the money. All this talk of Mbappe, hoping that Mbappe signs a new deal, it's not just going to work. And I hope he doesn't sign the contract. I'm not a fan of PSG. I'm not a fan of Real Madrid. But everybody wants to see the best players play for the best clubs.
You're spot on. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that situation pans out. But as it is right now, Kylian Mbappe has got the right to sign a pre-contract with Real Madrid in January. We'll see if he does that indeed. Let's leave.
I'm sure. Sorry, Ty. I'm sure Fiorentino Perez has got the contract from Mbappe on January 1st. He's going to put a call and say, "Don't worry, there's a private jet waiting for you in Paris. Just come in and sign, and you can go back."
Deal. That'd be such a shame for PSG because they'll be losing out on a great player and all of the monies that could have come for a sale as well. Let's leave football quickly. Let's touch down in the NBA. We're building up to the tip-off for the 2021-2022 season, which is going to happen on October the 19th. Preseason games have started. We have the results for you, starting with the 76ers against the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors won that game 123-107. Precious Achiuwa made his debut, started that particular game, scored 13 points and 6 of 9 shooting, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. So very decent outing for Precious Achiuwa. In other games, it was the Hawks losing against the Miami Heat 125-99. KZ Okpala and Gabe Vincent featured for Miami, all scored 6 points apiece. The Warriors defeated the Blazers 121-107. The Magic lost by a point against the Boston Celtics 97-98. The Hornets defeated the Thunder 113-97, while the Denver Nuggets lost by a single point as well against the LA Clippers. But our focus is going to be on the former D-Tigers forward, Ime Udoka. D-Tigers forward Ime Udoka was made a winning starter to his tenure as the head coach of the Boston Celtics. He's been talking about that particular game against the Orlando Magic, and let's get his post-game reaction. Then we'll get the thoughts of Ini as well too. We're seeing pictures are coming from that game against the Orlando Magic. Udoka is the first Nigerian African to be the head coach of an NBA team, an NBA franchise. That's a major, major achievement for anyone out there. So congratulations, getting the first win as well. Jaylen Brown led the way with 25 points, while Jason Tatum added 18 points in that particular victory. Let's take a listen now to Udoka, his assessment of his first game in charge of the Celtics.
Well, for guys, it was up and down overall. I think at times we moved the ball well and got decent looks. We said it at halftime when we came in, we were shooting, I think, at 31% at that time, and we had plenty of open looks. So we got the looks we wanted a lot. We were short. It felt like, this is preseason for a reason. They didn't have their legs. But overall, it was up and down. There were some times we moved it well. Sometimes we stuck to the ball too much and tried to go a little bit too much one-on-one, and then had some turnovers early. But 14 turnovers for the game, had 8 in the first quarter. We were trying to do a little bit too much, and then I felt like we got better as the game went on, moving the basketball. They were trying to be too unselfish. I had to tell them in the first 2 timeouts to take the shots when they're there. Guys that have been aggressive their whole career were passing up open shots, and might have listened to me too much and tried to be unselfish as far as that and passed up shots. So we told them to be aggressive even when you're missing. Dennis and some of those guys started moving in and passing up some shots. So we talked to them about that, especially at halftime, said, let it fly. This is what the preseason's for, get your legs. And when you have the open shot taken, so we know, like I said, we're not going to shoot 35% again, and look forward to the next game.
On to the next game against the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be on Sunday. Quick one on Udoka. Fantastic feat, a coach from Africa, Nigeria in the NBA. It's unheard of.
Yeah, a great one for him. A good start, but he's experienced enough to know that nothing to be excited about yet. It's still preseason. Yeah. The big deal starts in just 2 weeks, and he understands the demands of what it is to be an NBA coach, and more so the fact that he's African and he's the first to do it at that level. And a lot of pressure on him, a lot of expectations. He knows the Boston Celtics. He's got to go out there and enjoy his job. Just enjoy your job. He's got to enjoy his job and give it a best crack, because you are the pioneer. You are the guy who you're setting a template for other potentially coaches from African descent who aspire to coach in the NBA. This is an opportunity. If he does well, if he can set a good record, if he gets his team up there, there's an opportunity for other Africans to come in. So that is a different kind of pressure.
Yes,
it's a different kind of pressure, knowing you're the first and you're always going to be judged. Your brothers will be judged by what you do. So he's got to give it his very best.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that Udoka will be doing just that. Everyone that's spoken about him have had nothing but good things to say about his qualities as a coach and as a leader as well.
The fact that they gave him an opportunity, I mean,
it's incredible.
Boston Celtics have got to trust him so much.
Exactly, and we're not talking of any franchise. We're talking of the Boston Celtics. They've won the most championships in NBA history, 17 alongside the Lakers. So it's a massive franchise.
It's a massive, massive opportunity for him. And I don't know the discussion they had in the boardroom or whatever they sat to when they gave him the deal, but it must have been a lot of trust, to believe that he can cut it at this level, because there's been an assistant coach before. It's not the same thing,
It's not.
When he's not the same thing, but when you're the head coach, it's a different ballgame entirely. So wish him the very best, Udoka. I will absolutely wish him the very best. He's there's been this argument whether he's from the Igbo tribe or no. He's my brother, and I'm fine. I'm fine that he's Nigerian. We're proud of him. We're very excited that he's going to go out in the NBA and make the nation proud and make the entire African continent proud.
Indeed, we're rooting for you, Udoka and the Boston Celtics. Time to look at the papers before we close the show, starting with Sporting Life. Fury against Joshua could still be a massive fight, even without the belts. That's a very big question. Battles against the Central African Republic. Flight delay disrupts UK Eagles' arrival. Iheanacho, Ekong. Okay, some of these guys are in camp already. Aurel signs for Villarreal. Sergio Aurel's got a club. Villarreal, interesting.
Wow. It is. It's amazing.
Oh dear.
How he keeps. I mean, I think he left. Was it Lille to Paris Saint-Germain,
Yeah,
from
PSG
Germain,
to
and then
Spurs.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Somehow, I want to meet his agent. I mean, his agent must be very good at what he does.
Interesting. Why I dropped Sanusi for Bassi. That's according to Gennaro Raw. That's the new Eagles invitee. Calvin Bassi. Raw's got an explanation for why he decided to call him up instead of Zaidou Sanusi. You can get the details on Sporting Live. Manchester United considering KC to replace Pogba. Ahmed Musa versus Kano. Pillars training. Nice one from the
KC
captain.
to replace Pogba.
Interesting.
Come on. I'm not sure of that.
Let's just leave it as paper talks, speculation, and all of that. Let's go to the next paper, Complete Sports. It is ahead of Nigeria versus CAR. Goal poachers and Archer Awoni arrive for the Central African Republic here. So those two strikers definitely, alongside Victor Osimhen, will be carrying the goal-scoring burden for the Super Eagles against the CAR. Mbappe confirms he has to leave PSG. Fantastic. We talked about that already. Mainz narrowly missed out on Awoni's deal. Now that he's scoring for Union Berlin, you had your chance, Mainz. You didn't get the job done.
Yeah,
Too
but
bad for Mainz.
I mean, I'm sure they're very happy to have him for many years, but they'll struggle to hang on to him.
Yeah, indeed. Iniesta, I'd like to return to Barca as what?
Not now, please.
Not now.
Andres, please. Not now, please. It's not time, please. It's not time because there's so much turmoil happening. Even Xavi, who's even more experienced, has been coaching out there in the Far East. I just hope Xavi doesn't go back there for now because
can break their careers.
It's a messy situation and you don't want to be involved.
I totally agree. Sporting Life is our last. Sporting Sun is our last paper for review. Onuachu 7 others eat Super Eagles scam. European Golden Shoe, Benzema extends lead over Salah and Lev. Benzema is just on fire right now. Into plans to beat Arsenal to Onana. Tyson Fury to net £22 million in Wilder trilogy. Our bout is going to be on October the 9th in Las Vegas. So you can stick with us in Sport this morning for the preview of that trilogy bout between the Gypsy King and the Bronze Bomber. Once again, I want to thank you for coming on the show, Ini. Appreciate
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to October 9, by the way.
I am looking forward as well. So it should be very interesting times for boxing fans across the world. That's it for the show. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tahir Salam.